Good evening and welcome to SAFC Fan TV and another edition of the Sunday Bunch, and we are live. Joining myself for you fully tonight, we have LJ in, Dino down there. Have you had a good day, Dino?
I just watched the football. No interesting.
No, interesting. All right. Joined by Jack Shields tonight as well. Jack, you had a good day?
Yeah, it's been all right, Phil. Quite boring, to be honest. Just had me Sunday dinner and chilled, really, so not much happening.
Netflix and chill, did you say?
No, Sunday dinner and chill.
All right, okay. And we're joined by the Mad Mistake as well. Terry, what have you been up to today?
Watching the Grand Prix, which was really disappointing because they've robbed Lewis Hamilton. Absolutely robbed Lewis Hamilton. What a fucking bunch of... Sorry, I shouldn't be swearing, sorry. Apologies. Had a Chinese about 10 minutes ago. Had nice Chinese.
Right, fair dues. Just before we start, I do want to say a massive big thank you and massive apologies because I can't remember what your name is, but there was a guy in the Wheat Chief, I'm sure he said he was from Maidstone, came up at the end of the show and he donated £20 towards SAFC Fan TV to its running costs. So massive apologies for getting your name, but I'm sure you said you were from Maidstone. Thank you very much. Can we have a round of applause, please, for that guy? Sorry.
He's on my my vlog. Him and his family were there. With brilliant lads. Yeah,
super. Said fan of the show, watches all the time, and wanted to sort rankers and wanted to make that donation. So a massive gesture, and thank you very much for that. Right, so on to yesterday then. Was always going to be a tough game. Sunderland 2, Plymouth 1. We'll start with you, Jack. Overall, what did you think?
I thought we played very, very well, particularly in the first half. Obviously, brilliant start of the game, playing the type of football I expect Sunderland at this level. You know, we were quick, got the ball on the bottom, high intensity. The crowd really seemed to react to it as well. I don't know what the other lads thought, but I thought the atmosphere the first 20 minutes, half hour was absolutely fantastic. And really, that's what we should be doing to teams at the stadium. We should make that a horrible place to come when we're getting the ball down and playing with a high intensity and quick with the crowd behind us. And no surprise when we got the early goal. I thought it was really good work down the wing. And we obviously got the ball in early on. I think it was 3 or 4 minutes, wasn't it? When the first one went in, it was well worked as well. It was a nice little routine. Looks like they've been practicing that on the training pitch. But and then we got the ball in for the second. Nice little flick by Broadhead, and everything was going okay. I thought we could have added to it in the first half. Second half, they come out. They're always going to be improved. I think we knew what they were going to do. They were going to come out at us. They were going to be more in our faces. They were going to be the team pressing. A bit disappointed we gave away a sloppy goal to make things hard for ourselves. I thought that was avoidable. But in the end, could have added to it. I think over the 90 minutes, we were the better team. Plymouth have done well this season, but I thought it was a good 3 points.
Yeah, I agree with the atmosphere. Was good at the ground, and I think what it also did was it didn't have silence the Plymouth fans. I mean, for a group of travelling fans in the numbers, I thought they were very quiet yesterday. But I just think we hit them so soon. Is why that happened. Just very quickly, we are live, of course, which means you can join us via the live chat if you'd like to have already in there. Joe, the artist, says so. He's jumping to the in camp from the out camp this week. Andrew Flynn there. John T said LJ must still go. Robert Foster in there. David Walker, Anthony Perth, all down there. A few people agreeing with you, Terry, saying about Lewis Hamilton being robbed. I've got to admit, I'm not a massive big fan of Formula One, but from what I've seen, didn't Lewis Hamilton cut across a big corner or something? And
no, basically what happened, he would have won all day, but there was a crash last 5 laps, and then going through the safety car process, they changed their own rules just so Verstappen was right behind Lewis Hamilton for that 1 lap to go, and he was on fresh tyres, so there was no way Hamilton could have won. So they broke their own rules. That's why there's a stewards inquiry. They broke their own rules to let Verstappen win.
Right, okay. It looked a bit dodgy. I'm cutting a corner off to me, but I'm the middle of it. Anyway, let's not go there. Emma says Ben was chucking stuff at the telly with the F1 as well. Dino, the match yesterday, 2-1. Even you would be happy with that, wouldn't you?
Of course. I mean, what is there not to be happy about? I mean, six unbeaten streak now, with a couple of wins, a couple of draws in there. I mean, Terry, it's still a streak, and I think you said it's not a streak. It is a streak. We're unbeaten. And you got to start from somewhere. I
just don't like the word streaky. I hate his name, streaky. It's stupid. It's just there, it's just there to criticise the bloke. To be honest. Yeah,
but was it not Jack on Thursday? You said, I think, it could be labelled to any manager really, streak, because they all have winning streaks and losing streaks, don't they? So. Sorry, Dino, carry on.
Yeah, I think the first goal, I mean, that's come probably straight off the training ground. It shows that Lee Johnson's working with these players on corner kicks. It was a lovely routine. Just nipped at the front post, hit it back to Dan Neil. I think it was Doyle who nipped the front post, passed it back to Dan Neils, who slots it in. Very well worked. Second goal, I mean, Giorgio was class again yesterday, really was, beating his man every time he could, winning free kicks. And he done that lovely little jink in, jink out move, left the defender for dead, put it into a dangerous area, and Broadhead with a lovely finish. Broadhead is looking better every single week. He's looking like a real good player. And then second half, I mean, like Jack said, we're going to expect them to come out different, come out try and attack. I thought we dealt with it quite well. We had some chances of our own. We should have probably had a third when the keeper made that mistake, and I think it was O'Brien. It was just so unlucky. That should have been 3, but it's one of them. Their goal, I mean, they just piled numbers on Hoffman, and the tallest bloke in the box got the head on it. It's really hard to defend that, especially when they put it in such a dangerous area, and they know Hoffman isn't exactly the best for coming out and catching the ball. So I think that worked to their favour. But overall, I mean, everyone would have took 3 points off that. I mean, I know Plymouth on a bit of a downward spiral, but we capitalised on that. I think we played them at the right time, and I'm happy.
Right, fair enough. On the chat, just very quickly, Thane says that foul on Neil, shocking from the ref. We will get on to the referee in a bit. We also want to give a massive shout out and big thank you to the Sunderland Top Dogs podcast, who've donated $1.79 via the super chat. Can we have a round of applause, please, for the Sunderland Top Dogs podcast? Thank you. They said, see you on the fan cams at Arsenal, mate. They'll be in fancy dress. We look forward to that. Come and see us, and we'll interview you. At this point, we will say you can donate to the channel. Of course, the channel does cost money to run, and you can donate if you like via the super chat. The chat is still free. It's purely optional if you want to do that. There's a little $sign at the bottom of the live chat. Click on that. There's a slider. You can select how much you'd like to donate, and that goes to help the running of the channel, and is gratefully appreciated. Terry, yesterday then 2-1 against Plymouth, who were up there at the moment. What did you think?
Well, coming away with 3 points against the side around about here in the table was a good result, simple as. I thought the first half was fantastic. I thought it's probably the best we've played. I've seen us play at the Stadium of Light in the first 25 minutes. I thought it was really good. I thought we should put it to bed by half time, 3 or 4-0. And Dan Neil was basically saying on his interview that short corner that came from Doyle to Dan Neil, it wasn't really meant for Dan Neil. He held up his run for whatever reason, and it fell to him. So he says, they were been practicing those sort of corners, and it came off really well. Diago, for me, absolutely fantastic. Yesterday, he's proved me completely wrong. I thought he was lightweight. I thought he was poor, especially in the cup match. He didn't want to play. But since then, he must have had a kick up the backside and a good telling off by Lee Johnson, because he's come on loads since then. He's really putting in a full shift now. Only downside of the whole proceedings and the whole day for me is the injury to Gooch at half-time. He had to go off at half-time. 2-0 up, looking rosy. Second half, they came out. We all knew Plymouth were going to come at us, but we didn't realise they were going to come with us with 12 men because the referee was an absolute disgrace, probably the worst referee I've seen at the Stadium of Light. He gave everything to Plymouth. He gave nothing, absolutely nothing to Sunderland. So to beat 12 men in a football match, it's fantastic. Well done, Lee Johnson and the side. I'm over the moon.
Right. Funny enough on the referee, I mean, you said there he gave everything to Sunderland, nothing to Plymouth. I was
the other way around.
Sorry, it's the other way around. Sorry, but I was talking to some Plymouth fans last night, and they were saying that he was shocking that they didn't get anything. So it's the way you see it, which is unbelievable for me. Like, because I mean, I sort of agree with you, Terry, in the fact that he's probably one of the worst.
Wait. To be fair, you heard the crowd, the way the crowd was going, to be honest. Towards the end, it sort of got all the crowd right behind the team, got the noise up, and the team sort of responded and sought the win. Another time, we might let a late goal in. So, end of the day, it was a good team performance to get that win at the end of the day, I think.
Right, okay, just very quickly, back to the chat. Tony Lee, friend of the show, he sits along from me. We'll be getting on about Tony Lee a little bit later on. Says only 1v tonight. Whatever that's supposed to mean. Emma Hansen, in all seriousness, how many people are now LJ in after saying LJ out? And this is the shocker of the evening so far from Thane, who says 6 games unbeaten, back-to-back home wins. Can't complain at the moment. Thane's not complaining, so things must be looking up. Right, well, let's get on to the referee then. Why we've just touched on it there. It is a problem for us. Should we be expecting this now? I mean, there was some shocking decisions, and like I say, the foul on Dan Neil was just unbelievable. Dino, your views on the referee yesterday?
I say I never want to mention a referee ever again until a good one comes along, because they all are exactly the same. They all come to the same and I make it about themselves. Johnson got another yellow card for basically going off it, which is too right, because that Dan Neil one was a definite free kick, and then there was a few more where he just wasn't given anything. Like, first half he wasn't too bad, and then second half it was just like, gotta make it all about me, and he was just absolutely awful. And the ref, I don't know why we even mention the referees, because again, we're talking about them, we're making light of it, and at the end of the day, nothing's ever going to improve. The referees are just terrible, and they always will be terrible until something's done, and nothing will ever be done because it costs money, and people don't want to fork out money.
Yeah, that's a fair point, I suppose. Down in this league, would they spend the money to get better referees? Funny enough, when we did the fan cam interviews after the game, we spoke to a young lad, and I think it may be Game Boy Ben who was talking to, and he Googles the referees before they come, and apparently he was shocking the last time he played when he refereed a Sunderland game as well. So he's sort of got form with us. Jack, your views on the referee yesterday?
Yeah, really, really poor, Phil. Like Dino said, first half, I didn't really notice him that much, and I always think that's a sign of a good referee. Excuse me, sign of a good referee when you don't really notice him. You don't really, you don't think about him in the game. Second half, he seemed to let a lot of fouls go from Plymouth. Physical 50-50s, whereby they were just, no attempt to play the ball, just fouling, physical type stuff, little nicky fouls, as I call them, as they're going around, little sly ones, and he seemed to let a lot of it flow. And I think what's also happening is because other teams on the whole are more physical than us. I think we're trying to play an honest game, and other teams are just bullying us. And you need a strong referee at this level, and we didn't get that second half. He let a lot of things go, and then little needly things from us that were nothing, and he was blown for it. Not only the referee, though, the official down on this side, because I sit in the southwest corner. So the official on our side, he was clueless as well. He was looking at stuff and just looking at it and right close to him and just completely ignoring it and not even seeing a foul in it. The one on Neil was horrendous. I don't, barely anything happened from that. And then, I think he actually got one in our favour. The last minute was a corner. I saw it as a corner, and he blew for our goal kick. So that was about the only thing that we got from him all game. But I think, when teams are physical and they're making it a dirty physical game, you need a strong referee to cut it out. And I think his problem was he let the early stuff flow, he let it go, and then he set a rod for his own back that he couldn't blow for anything because it would have looked really inconsistent. But it was poor. But it's a theme for a while now, Phil, isn't it? We've had it for the last 3 or 4 years at this level. It's not just, the football's got worse over the last few years. The referees have. It seems like I can't name a decent one in this league at all. Really, really poor. Luckily, it didn't cost us the result, because if it had cost us the result, it would have been fuming even more so. But yeah, it was a really poor performance.
Right. Okay, then. On that score, we want to go to the chat just very quickly. Tam says the only way to improve the refs is to get promoted, which is a fair point. Jimmy says LGA's Red and White Army, poor division equals poor refs. Marion Trowell says, lovely Christmas jumper, Terry. I've got news for Marion. It's not a Christmas jumper. That's actually dandruff. Oh, you shouldn't have stood up, man, because we can only see your dandruff. And,
I'm wearing a hat.
Tom Wallace says also on there, as it said on the fan cams, even Jack Dodds could have done better than that referee. Terry, the referee yesterday.
Exactly what Jack just said. Very poor. I mean, like I said, the first half, he wasn't that bad, to be honest. I thought he was pretty fair on both sides. And for some reason, I don't know whether he just put some money on a comeback from Plymouth at half-time, back Plymouth to win 3-2, and then decided to make it all about him, give Plymouth many opportunities to score as possible, because we fouled them a couple of times, which were worse fouls than what they give to us, and we got yellow cards. So I just don't get it. Honestly, I don't get it. But it just proves how well Sunderland played to play against 12 men and come away with 3 points. So again, well done, the lads.
Right, okay. Mick Griffiths on the chat says, where's your Christmas lights, Dino? And then says, disco Christmas lights. We're going to see your Christmas lights, Dino?
They're in the corner.
Are they on? They're not on, are
Where?
they?
Of course they're on. It's the only light in the room.
Oh, what's under the... Oh, that's no good.
Right. It's not disco time. It's Christmas time.
Right, okay. Right, so are we all in agreement then that's because we've got the 7 points from the 9, which we all said we'd be happy with. Are we all in agreement now that this bad run we had was just a blip? Dino?
I mean, blips are going to happen regardless. There might be... I mean, what do you count as a blip? 3, 4 games, or even one game? Like, it depends what you mean as a blip. I mean, if we lose, we've got Ipswich next.
Yeah.
If we lose against Ipswich, people will go, oh, one another blip, one another losing streak, blah, blah, blah. People just overreact over the littlest things. We are going to get beat. We are going to draw games, and we will win games. We've got 10 injuries. We're playing some quite good teams, and the teams because this team isn't our strongest team, and they've actually held up. They've kept in the top 4. We're 2 points off top. I mean, you couldn't ask for any more. And when the likes of McGeady comes back, I mean, how do you get him in the team? Because I mean, Gooch was playing really well. Giotto's on another level at the minute. I mean, where do you even put him? So these players who come back from injury, I can't even see them getting straight back into the side, to be fair, with some of the players who are making good performances.
Right, well, I'm going to come on to that next after this. We did say that last season, Hull and Peterborough had two little bad runs and still went up. So, Terry, just a blip, do you agree? It was?
Well, it was a bad blip, wasn't it? Let's face it. Our home form is quite good. Our away form isn't particularly good. So we'll see what Lee Johnson, see if he's learned from the errors against Rotherham, Sheffield Wednesday, from the away form sort of thing, and Portsmouth, see how we play the away matches. I mean, if we go to Ipswich to get a point, that'll be a decent result. We don't want to go there and lose 4-0, do we? We don't want to go there gun-ho and then we're getting smashed. So we want to change tactics a little bit for the away games to the home games, because Ipswich, they're not a bad side. They're going to be thereabouts. So we need to go there and just change the way we do things a little bit, and not be so gung-ho at the start of matches. And, at the end of the day, anything rather than a loss away from home. You win all your home games, you draw away games. I'd be happy with that.
Right, okay then. Yeah, but we have lost to Rotherham. I mean, Rotherham are looking very good at the moment as well, you know. And
well, they're only 2 points above us, so they're looking good, but they're not looking magnificent, are they?
Yeah.
They only look good when we played us when we were poor.
Right, okay. Jack, just a blip, yes?
I think so, but I think it was a bit worrying that I mean, you can lose a game 1-0 and be in it and maybe a bit unlucky, but it was the fact that we were battered at Rotherham, we were well played, well beaten at Sheffield Wednesday, we were battered at Portsmouth, and then at a poor home loss against Charlton. So he really was under pressure, and I said he needed to turn it around. He needed some results. To be fair, he's got them since the international break, where we had the week where we didn't have a fixture. We've had 6 matches, we've won 4, we've drawn 2. We've had some good performances in there. We've ground out a couple of results. So, yeah, I think he has bought himself a little bit of time. He did need it. You know, with the fan pressure was really, really on him before we went on that run. But I think he's bought himself a little bit of time. And I think we're looking good now. I think we've got a tough festive fixture list, though. We've got some, particularly with an Arsenal Cup game in the middle of it all. So, you know, tough run of fixtures. 3 away from home on the spin now, including Arsenal. I think if we can get 4 points from the next 2, point at Ipswich and beat Doncaster, I think everyone will be satisfied with that.
Right. Quickly, Mick Griffiths says, let's see the mascot, Colin Philly. So there's Colin. Say hello to everybody, Colin. Say hello. There you go. All right. There you go. There he is. All right. Oh, God. It'd be nice to get some sleep. Don't get a puppy. It was almost put in the paper the other day. That's where bad he was. Terry, you was 1-0.
Yeah, I mean, Gooch got a nasty groin injury. I don't know how bad his injury is, but I mean, if we lose Gooch as well, then we're down to Embleton and O'Brien, and that's it, basically. I know Huggins has been put on the sideline for a lot longer as well, so he's going to be out for quite a while again. Like some sort of back injury, I think. So we do need to get 1 or 2 purchases in January, because if we lose many more players, we're going to be struggling.
Right, okay. I'm going to get on to... Oh, I'll tell you what, before we do, we've got 51 likes. So we're just 49 away from our 100 we like to hit on a Sunday. If you can just hit the thumbs up, we'll take you a second to do that. 172 people on the stream at the moment. So just hit that thumbs up. And don't forget, of course, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already done so. It is free to subscribe. We're just looking for 3 new subscribers tonight. It'll get us to our next little milestone. If you can do that, just hit the subscribe button, please. The lads around me, 1 or 2 of them are not fans of Lee Johnson, which I am going to come on to. But they made a very valid point, because I was saying, well, you know, we've got all these injuries, and here we are. You know, we're getting these results for this team. And they said, this is probably his best team, and he's found his best team by accident, by sort of like because of the injuries. Do you agree with that, Jack?
Sort of. I think it's forced his hand, certainly. I mean, we've you know, a lot of people would say if Aidan McGeady is fit, he starts straight away because he's technically our best player, but he's been on the decline this season. A lot of people like Luke O'Nien when he's fit, and he seems to be a regular under Lee Johnson. I'm not a huge Luke O'Nien fan, and I don't think we've missed him in the last few weeks. I know people might disagree with that. So I do sort of understand that. I think really, though, I think, you know, when the injuries, when we get full, you know, we do get the full backs back particularly, I think that'll stop, you know, we won't have to shoehorn players into positions like we have been. So I think that'll help us massively. But I agree with Terry's point. I do think we need some players in January. I still think this squad at the minute, where that we are, even with the injured players back, I still think we're slightly short from an automatic promotion squad. I think we're maybe 3 or 4 players short. I think we're missing a little bit in the middle, like an athletic centre midfielder. I still think we could do with another goal scorer somewhere in the team. I know we've got Broadhead that's scoring now, and now that Stewart's hit a bit of a dry spell, but I still think we're short a little bit there. And maybe in defence as well, we can maybe do with a defender. So I still think there's 3 or 4 areas we could improve on. So I think that's definitely, you know, something we need to look at going forward in January. But I think really our squad isn't, you know, I know our fans say we should be winning the league, should be winning every game, and ultimately that should be our ambition to get promoted. But I think at the minute, I think our squad on paper, I know football isn't played on paper, but might just come up a little bit short. But if we get those players in January, you never know.
Yeah, just very quickly on the chat there. Don't Call Me Mackham says LJ was fortunate to have 3 home games in a row to redeem himself. The jury will be out after the next 3 games. I don't think it'll be fair to use the Arsenal game as you know, as our league performance and stuff like that. Dino saying he's found his best team by accident. I mean, I personally don't think it's his best team at the moment. You know, I mean, we're playing players.
Do you know the people who are saying that? These are the LG out people who are saying this. The ones who won't give him credit. He stumbled onto it. Like these people just will not change their mind. They won't admit they were wrong or anything like that. It's their opinion at the end of the day. If they want to have that opinion, it's fair enough. But they won't give the man any credit. So to me, that just shows they don't like the bloke. Even if we got promoted, you'll hear them. We still need to get rid next season because he's not good enough. But yeah, he's good enough to get promoted. He'll be good enough to get promoted. So it's just these people who won't change their mind on LJ. I think this is one of our weakest teams we've got. We've got right mids and left backs. At left back, I mean, Gooch is a right midfielder. He's playing at left back. You know, we've got Winchester playing centre mid and right back. You've got players all over the place. So no, I don't think it's just fell onto him. I mean, Pritchard was really out of form. Now he's gotten some game time. He's in form. He's looking really, really good. I mean, Daniel's in there looking really sharp. Bringing Winchester into centre midfield. He could have just kept Winchester at right back and brought someone else into centre midfield, but he changed it round. He brought Winchester into centre midfield, so he didn't fall upon that, did he? He made that decision to bring Winchester into centre midfield and put someone else right back. And people say they don't like the 3 at the back. I mean, are we playing with 3 at the back? Is that
3 and 5? It's like it depends, doesn't it? Because they're like. I mean, yeah. I was trying to work it out yesterday, and it's you know, sometimes it's
when Gooch went off or went to a back 4, I do think we went to a back 4 when Gooch came off, so that was at half time. But if we are playing with a back 3, when everyone's saying, playing with a back 3 is negative, we'll never win. But we've won how many games now with a back 3? So, I mean, just give the bloke some credit, man. For God's sake, if you didn't like him, fair enough, but you've got to give credit where credit's due. He's pulled out the rut. Everyone was saying he's never changed round a losing streak. Well, he's just done it. These people just they just don't like the man, and they will never ever give him credit, and that's up to them. But for me, it's probably the worst team we're playing at the like this squad at the minute is very, very weak in most areas. So yeah, I think just give him some credit. Give him some credit.
Right, just very quickly on the chat, DJ Sizzler Watson says, and I've got this jingle because I used to use it myself. Remember, dogs, not just for Christmas. Be careful. You might have a bit left over for Boxing Day. Yes, I don't find it funny either. Ricky13 says, I like LJ, 4th yellow card. That shows passion. We are actually going to sort of touch on that subject as well. Terry, has he found his best team by accident?
Well, let's face it, right? I'm not a massive Lee Johnson fan, right? I'm not a massive, I don't really dislike him. I don't really like him, just not a massive fan. But you have to give credit where credit's due, like Dano said, right? He's playing with a team that's 9 or 10 players out. He's found a way to improve Diaco because Diaco was playing awful. He's found a way to get the best out of Gooch because Gooch wasn't playing very well. Broadhead's come into the fold alongside Stewart, and he's like a new player. He's absolutely fantastic in there. What a loanee this guy is. Broadhead, this could make or break the season. Pritchard's come into his own now, really playing for the team. He's found a way to improve the defence, improve the way Hoffman plays out the back of the goal. None of this sloppy passing. You know, he's done a lot in a short period of time, and Winchester's gone to the middle of the park. So, you know, he's playing with a makeshift squad. But he's found a way to get that team playing together and playing as a unit and playing for each other. And more importantly, playing for Lee Johnson. So credit where credit's due, you know what I mean? We all want Sunderland to succeed regardless if we like a manager or dislike him or not. I was on the fence. I gave him a few games. I've seen a massive improvement. You know, so we are going to give credit to Lee Johnson for what he's done so far and credit to the team for getting 7 points out of 9. We could have easily lost a couple of those games, you know, but now we move on to the next stage, which is between now and Christmas. So again, we want to see another resilient side, another improvement again, and to get a few more points. But at the end of the day, I think credit where credit's due for Lee Johnson. I think he's done really well.
Right. Jack, I'll bring you in just now because I know you want in there.
Sorry, not just Lee Johnson, but also his coach and staff.
Right, okay. John T says, absolute rubbish, Dino. The team are really playing for their shirts. Harry Lamb on there says, I don't understand how people can be LJ out with 2 points off top. Well, you'd be surprised. And like I said, we're gonna touch on this shortly. Michael Cooper says, home form first in the league, away form we are 8th. And Lee Royal 89 says, which people would get off Johnson's back and get behind him, FFS, whatever that means. Jack, you was wanting in there.
Yeah, I just think one of the things that we do need to give him credit for is how much he's improved, in my opinion, the style of play. I particularly noticed at first half. That was what you would expect from a Sunderland team in League One at this level. You'd expect the ball to be on the bottom. You'd expect the intensity to be there. And I have to say, he's only been in charge a year, but we got none of that under Phil Parkinson, didn't we? I mean, I don't remember ever playing like that under Phil Parkinson. The football was boring, it was slow, it was laboured. He's got some speed in the team. He's got quick players that can seem to be, get the ball down and create chances. So it is better to watch as well. I mean, I agree with Terry. I'm not a massive Lee Johnson fan. He's not my type of bloke as a manager, but like I say, you can't really argue with the results. Everybody said get 2 points a game. That's what we're on at the minute. He's on track. And everyone says, be in the mix for automatic promotion, and that's what we are. So I don't think those that are really hugely critical of him can have that much criticism. But I do think that I said it a few weeks ago, Phil. I do think that some people have made their minds up on him, and I don't think, those people are going to turn around. They're not going to admit they're wrong, as Dino says, and that's a bit of a danger for a manager, because you have. Fortunately, it's not the majority at the minute, but there are some Sunderland fans that seem like it's only one more. They'll only take one more defeat, and they're going to come down and on them hard again. So, I think that's just the way it is for him for now.
Yeah, I'll come to you just now, Dino. Yeah, I think you're right. His style of play and stuff like that, but I think it's what Johnson's always tried to do, and it seems to be becoming good. And when it works, it looks great. It really does. So, that first half. I mean, we were saying that first 20 minutes was probably some of the best football that we've seen for a long time at the stadium. Dino, you was one in there.
See, I don't credit Johnson for the way we played. I credit the players for that, because the players make the passes. Lee Johnson doesn't. Lee Johnson's probably wanted them to play like that all the time, but it comes down to players' concentration and how they're feeling on the day. One day, Giorgio can't take a player on. He's giving balls away left, right, and centre. Then another day, he turns it up and he's skinning players for fun, winning free kicks and setting up goals. So that's down to the players on the pitch. Johnson's probably always wanted them to do that, and all of a sudden now they're starting to do that, whereas a couple of weeks ago we couldn't even make a 5-yard pass, could we? So for me, I credit the players on that, because the players play the football. The manager just says, I want you to kind of do this, blah, blah, blah. That's why I don't get why so much praise and criticism goes on to the manager when the players are out there performing. So I credit the players for that, but I credit Lee Johnson just for keeping his head and just not losing control. Because, like you say, last week it was all about the fingers. No one's mentioned that now.
Yeah. Right, just very quickly, your dad, Dino, on the chat, Hogan there says he's got plenty of credit and Lee Johnson can have most of it. There you go. Johnson booked again yesterday. Now, Tony Lee, hang on, let me get him up here. Tony Lee, who's a fan of the show, he's always on here and tunes in. He sits just along from me and we have a chat with him. And he says, will you stop putting that photo up of him, which is this photo there? So, yeah, sorry about that, Tony. This is Tony Lee. He said, Johnson, and again, he's in the Johnson out camp, so view it how you will, says he's just a bully. He bullies the fourth official all the time, and he's bang out of order, right? Now, is it seen as bullying and or getting a yellow card, getting booked? Does that not show passion and you know for the team? Terry, thoughts on that?
Well, imagine if all of us were Lee Johnson, well, we would react, because I mean, I was getting mental on Saturday with the referee. I couldn't believe it. If you got all the fans in the crowd doing the same thing. So Lee Johnson's in the same boat. He sees decision after decision after decision going against him. The lad's only human, if he's got any passion about him, that will happen. I'd get booked every bloody week if that was the case.
Yeah. So that's a fair point, Jack.
Yeah, I think we criticised him a few weeks ago for not really being in, and I have as well, not being in line with the supporters. But as Terry says, I think 3/4 of the stadium light was going off it on Saturday, yesterday, with some of the decisions where it was just, you staggered. You couldn't believe it. It's crazy. You couldn't even believe some of the decisions. So I don't think you can criticise him, for showing that passion. Maybe slightly rein it in if possible, but it's easy to say. It's easy to say now. None of us can rein it in. So yeah, I don't think you can criticise him too much.
Terry,
I think Lee Johnson restrained himself because I'd be sent off.
Yeah,
simple as I'd be sent off.
I mean, like I said, Tony Lee was passionate about this, and it was a big thing for him. He says he's just a bully, and it's like saying he shouldn't be doing that, But there you go, Dino. How do you see it?
Well, I don't even know what a fourth official's even there for, because they don't do now. They basically just tell the referee, "Oh, come and book him because he's going off it." They don't do anything. They don't make any decisions. I mean, a couple of fouls happened in front of the fourth official, which were blatant free kicks, and now it happened. Do you know what I mean? I don't know what the fourth official's even there for. And are you telling me that when a referee gives a crap decision, you're telling me Tony Lee isn't going off it? Yeah, you. And so to call him a bully, no, he's under pressure. And don't forget, matches are won and lost sometimes by referees' hands, by dodgy penalty decisions, by dodgy free kicks, what should have never been free kicks, stuff like that. And that can actually get a manager sacked. So no, I don't think it is bullying. I think it's passion. Everyone a couple of weeks ago was like Fane was saying, "Oh, he's just there with his hands in his pockets." I didn't see any hands in his pocket. I didn't see any hands in his pockets yesterday. I seen them in the face of the fourth official saying, "What the hell's going on here?" Because that's clearly a free kick to our man in the ref. And like you say, I don't blame him whatsoever.
Right, fair enough. I mean, it was cold when he had his hands in his pockets as well, to be fair. So,
he had gloves on yesterday, didn't he? I'm sure I seen him with gloves on.
Oh, well, that's why he didn't have his hands in his pockets. Las Palmas Mackham says the best managers are all at it. It does show passion. Just very quickly before I move on, then I want to say a massive well done to the Roker Report yesterday. Did a 24-hour Twitter-thon raising money for the Sunderland Soup Kitchen. So can I have a round of applause for the Roker Report, who did their 24-hour fundraising event and an excellent job and for a great cause as well. So well done. Well done to you lot. Yes, Terry.
What's a Twitter-thon?
I think they did a live. They went live on Twitter for 24 hours. So it's like a marathon, but a Twitter-thon. It's a sort of a play on words, I think. But correct me if I'm wrong. Right. I said I was going to bring this up anyway when I was at the match. But Tony Lee, who I sit next to, this is Tony Lee, who doesn't want us to put his picture up there. All right, just let me get rid of that. I said, because
Philly, what's his name again?
Hang on, it's he's here somewhere. It's Tony Lee.
Tony Lee. Right. There we go.
Oh yeah, him. So, right, Anthony Lee. He is on the chat, and I have invited him on the show, and he's, "Oh no, I'm not coming on." So I said, "Come on and just air your view." Now, Tony Lee said to me, because he is a Lee Johnson out man, right? And he said to me, you just think he's the best thing since sliced bread. I'll tell you now, I don't think he's the best thing since sliced bread. I don't particularly, see him as necessarily one of our best managers. All I'm trying to do is defend the fact that why are you wanting this manager out when we are in the position we are in? The aim is for promotion. We're still on track for that. And I think it's silly wanting him out. Am I a big fan of him or not? I don't know. I just think it's unfair to want him out. Go on quickly, Dino.
I mean, what will it take for Tony Lee or any Johnson out person to change their mind back to Johnson in? They'll probably say, "Get we're promoted." So basically, you're going to be Johnson out all the way to the end.
I think some fans have made their mind up on him. I really do. I think I said that a few weeks ago. I think some fans, and that that seems silly to me, because I think you should judge a manager on his results. And if he's getting results, you can't really criticise him too much if we're winning games. But I think some fans have just made their mind up, and you won't turn it around, Dean, with some of them.
Right. Listen. Well, this is where the question is, right? Because Tony Lee said, if we get promoted, right, he isn't going to hack it, right, in the Championship. So if we get promoted, he has to be sacked. So
that makes no sense.
So your thoughts on that? Go on, Dino. We'll start with you. Do you agree with that or not?
No, of course I don't. Why would you get promoted and then sack your manager, and then you get somebody else who you don't even know what's? Because every time you get in the manager, you just picking a number for the lottery. Like, you don't know if it's going to work or not. Some of the best managers in the world go to a different club and they just don't do anything. They go downhill. I mean, at the minute, Johnson's on an upward spiral. He gets promoted, he signs his own players again, or Speakman or whoever, with this new model of signing young players from Prem teams who are in under 23s, blah, 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 whatever we're doing. I mean, you can't, I just don't believe you can sack a manager after he gets you promoted, because what does that show any other manager who's coming here? Oh, so if I get them promoted to the Championship, I'll probably be sacked. Do you know, it just doesn't sit well with me, to be fair. It really doesn't.
All right, just very quickly, because I'm going to go to the chat here. Mick Griffiths said, what does Tony Lee look like? Tony Lee looks like that. That's what he looks like. And Steve Coniston is on there as well. He says, Tony Lee said, because Steve Coniston sits next to me, he said, Tony Lee said he would get rid of him. Tony, if you're still on the chat, he's on there as Anthony Lee. Come and have your say. Get yourself on the chat. Jack, sacking the manager if we go up?
Nah, silly. I think more of a bigger question would be, if we don't go up, would you sack him? You know, I think that's more of a pertinent question, because there's some wanting to give him a bit of stability and everything. But I think if he doesn't get us promoted, I think he's a goner, to be fair.
Yeah, right. I mean, I will tell you, when we've been to Terry, Tony's reasonings for saying that. But Terry, sacking the manager if we went up to the Championship?
No, I agree completely with Jack. I wouldn't sack him if we got promoted, but if we don't go up, then I would sack him, get somebody else in.
Right. Hang on, I'll come to you just now, Dino. Anthony Perth said, what's in Lee's cup? That makes no sense. Dino?
I mean, I know everyone says this is a results business, which kind of is, but I think it's more than that. I really do. This is, at the moment, I feel like we're a project now, because we've got good owners, we've got the board of director and all that stuff. In League One, I don't think it's just about results. It's about building and building and building. I mean, at one stage we had the best team in the league first season we came in, and then we lost all them players, and we got rid of players and brought these other ones in, and we're downgraded. Now we're back. We're upgrading again. I mean, we're seeing all this improvement. Say we didn't make top two, but we got the playoff final, got beat. But we played. Say we didn't stink the place out like we did in the first season, where we got beat off Charlton 2-1. We were terrible that game. Say we went to the final, we put up a hell of a fight. It was so close, and they just nicked it in the last minute, or it was a worldie, whatever. And you would sack him. I wouldn't, because it's still his players. He would improve on the next season, then we'll probably go up. I think changing the manager, everyone just thinks you change the manager, you'll definitely go up the next season. I don't think that works, because then the other manager has different ideas, wants to get rid of different players and bring his own in, and then you're back to square one. I think Johnson's building something, and I think you should let him build until it starts falling off a cliff, and we're just not getting results and we're playing absolutely awful.
Right, okay then. Just very quickly on the chat, Ben Hansen, who's now been married for 2 weeks to Emma, which is some achievement, that. Well done, mate. Says, defo pointless sacking the bloke, gets us promoted. Total stupid having move. There's a fair point as well made by Eddie Bamba in the chat. Says, what sort of message would that send out to any other manager who would want to replace him? Absolutely ludicrous suggestion. Now, and there are, there are a few people around where I sit, and I think, Jack, you've hit the nail on the head when you said some people's mind are made up, and it's difficult to change. Terry, are you on in there?
Yeah, I'll just go back to Dino's point. That I kind of understand where Dino's coming from. The only way you would sack Lee Johnson if you didn't improve this season. So if we went out at the first stage of the playoffs like we did last season, there's no improvement. Then for me, yeah, it's got to replace the manager. If he improves the whole situation, and like Dino says, get to the final, playoff final, hard lines get beat, then possibly I could bear him another season.
Right. Well...
Wow, you agreed with us? Wow, I wasn't expecting that.
Whoa!
Whoa.
Right, well, also, when Tony Lee, by the way, when Tony Lee said about getting rid of him in the Championship, he's saying he won't be good enough in the Championship. He would have to be sacked. And so when I questioned why, he was saying, well, he won't be able to attract the sort of players we're going to need. Now, my argument to that was, but with Sunderland, we're a big club, we've got a massive fan base. Is that alone, that must be an attraction when a manager's bringing people in, saying, look, we've got the stadium, it's going to be packed out, you play in front of this, every week. That should be good enough to get people in. Terry?
Poor Tony Lee won't be on the show again, will he? No, he's not going to come back now. We're not seeing him on the chat ever again. You've just chased one of your top subscribers away.
Well, no, it's not that. It's his way. I would have liked him to come on, right? And I did tell him yesterday, I said, we're going to talk about this. And it says, I'm getting his point across to everybody to comment on it. And we'll see what he has to say at the next game. I did invite him on. He didn't want to come on. So
it's his opinion. You got to respect his opinion.
Absolutely.
Yeah, you only attract a certain caliber of player. So it depends what league you're in. So we only attracting this caliber player because we're in League One. We'll attract a better caliber player regardless who the manager is in the Championship. Because if the money's there, they'll come. It's a Championship. You get a good standard of player in the Championship. Then if you get promoted to the Premier League, it doesn't matter for me what part of the country you're in. If you have the money to spend and you're willing to spend it, a lot of players will come.
Right, fair enough. Just very quickly, he's just appeared on the chat there. Game Boy Ben, shout out to him. I didn't realise it was you who was interviewing Ben yesterday, but he is the one who made the comment that Jack Dodds would have been a better referee than what we had yesterday. Jack, do you think Lee Johnson would have problems attracting the sort of player we would need for the Championship?
No, because I don't think really a manager. I mean, you might move to a team because of a manager, but I don't think the manager will have that much sway. I think, if a player gets a good wage at Sunderland, if he gets probably a wage higher than his current club, you're saying to him, like you say, 35, maybe 40,000, people watching you, big football club, chance to potentially play a role in us getting up to the Premier League or close to the Premier League. I think that'll be enough for a lot of players. I think if we do go up to our fans' expectation, might jump to, we're thinking about Premier League straight away, but I think we need to, stabilise, because I think, it's not going to be one of those seasons like we had under maybe Mick McCarthy or Roy Keane where we'll go straight in the Championship and coast it, because obviously I think it's going to be a building process. So I think you're going to need maybe one year to get steady if you do go up and, just stay up even, comfortable, and then look to build up on that. So I think you're not going to sign, promotion level players straight away. You're going to have to, maybe just sign players that are good enough to, improvement on what you've got, obviously, but that can kind of consolidate for a year in the Championship.
Yeah, that's a fair point. That just very quickly on the chat, Nefarious Dave says he's going to lamp Philly next home game. No, he won't. Me and Tony Lee have been friends for 35 years, and we've always gone to games and stuff like that. So he's signed as a pound. Thane says if LJ does fail, then Tony Lee to be next manager is what he says. Dino. Will we have problems attracting players in the Championship with Lee Johnson?
No, because I only believe there's only certain managers, the likes of Pep and the likes of Klopp, who can attract bigger names because some people want to play for their manager. That's the top level. Down where we are, there's not many. Many managers are normally this kind of the same. They're like, there's nothing special about them. They're just normal people. Whereas like you've got like the likes of Klopp and Pep who have that pull power. With Sunderland, I do disagree with Terry where it says location doesn't matter. I do believe to some players it does. It happened with Matty Taylor. Roy Keane told the story. He brought him up to look at the stadium and all that stuff. When he left the car park, he texted him saying, "Oh, I'm going to Portsmouth," or something like that. So I do believe location does matter to some players, but not all. It just depends on what your ambitions are. Some players don't want to come to Sunderland because the expectation is to go up, and if you'll get hounded by the fans and blah 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 if you don't perform.
Yeah, but hang on, Dean. On the same score though, you know, if they do perform, they can become an icon. They can become an absolute legend.
But some players. I'm not saying for all players, but I just don't think some players want that pressure. Some players can't handle that kind of pressure. They're happy to just sit at a mid-table kind of club, happy to just play championship football every season, where some players want to go further up in the table. Not all players are the same. Some players just want to make some good money and just play good level football, where some players want to push themselves to the limit. So,
well for me, you know, I wouldn't want those sort of players at this club. Really, you want players.
Example. Look at the players who signing like these journeymen when we were in the Premiership days, when we were signing these like the likes of Dillabaji and Dongs and stuff like that. I mean, them weren't pushing themselves to the limit. Whether them were just happy to pick up a wage. So, you know, you've got to get.
I still think the biggest pull for a player, certainly when we're in these leagues, is not the manager. I think they say, you know, 30,000 plus fans, you know, every home game in a massive stadium, state-of-the-art training facilities and stuff like that. I think that is probably the biggest ace card we have, more than who the manager is. Just very quickly then, Tony Lee, if you are still on the chat, if you was wanting him out, I'm just curious because I forgot to ask you, who would you want to get in? So if you're on the chat, just stick that on there. Now, also, if we go up, I'd like to think that Lee Johnson's going to get a sizable transfer kitty. And for anybody saying, I wouldn't want to trust him with that sort of money, does this really matter? Because isn't Speakman going to be in control of all that anyway? So he's not going to allow money to be wasted. Terry, do you want to start us on that?
I'm just not getting carried away with the championship. Let's get January window out of the way first and see who comes in the January window before we start thinking about championship.
Right. So, okay. Well, I was just linking it to the fact that he wanted him sacked if we go up. That was all. So, my apologies. I will write a letter of apology to you. You'll have it by the end of the week.
No, Jack, apology on live streams. Fine enough. I'll do, mate. Cheers.
Jack, do you get a sizable kitty? It's going to be Speakman in charge anyway, isn't it, of the funds?
I think so. I think that's the model that we're going down. That is the whole point of the director of football model, isn't it? You know, it's a kind of process. It's a what's the word I'm looking for? I can't think of the word. You put your trust in other people to delegate. That's what I'm looking for. It's a delegation thing whereby you kind of use a few people, you know, identifying young players. And I think the recruitment this season has been pretty good. You know, particularly we've got younger players in. You know, certainly I think there's more hunger in the Sunderland team. We've definitely physically we've got the attributes I think that we've been lacking. You know, we've got some quick players in the team, some good players that you know. Play technically, you know, better than we have in recent seasons. So I think the recruitment does look like it's working at the minute. But I think January is another big one, as Terry's touched on. We do need some. Like I say, I still think we're short in terms of you're looking at a squad for automatic promotion. I think we're close. We're close to an automatic promotion squad, but not at the minute. I still think we're short of 3 or 4, maybe 5 players. So I think that's going to be the next target. See if we can get those players in January and then have a right run through to the end of the season, try and get promotion.
Right, fair enough. Dino, thoughts on it?
I mean, like we say, we think Christian Speakman makes the signings and all that, but I do believe Johnson. I do believe Johnson might say, I like the look of so I'm sure someone said in the chat that Pritchard, Johnson wanted him, but then it was up to Christian Speakman and all that to do all the negotiations and stuff like that. Basically, managers these days don't have a lot of control. They may be able to mention the odd player who they would like to sign, but you've got no guarantees. I mean, look at the season with De Canio when we brought all them players in, the likes of Mobe Carlson and Cabral and all them. Them were none of De Canio's players. Them were just brought in hoping that they'd be really, really good, then sell them on later down the line for profit. You've just got to really trust the process. That's what you got to do. You've just got to trust the process. I think this is the best position. I know we're in the worst league position we've ever been in, but behind the scenes, it's probably the best we've ever had it since. I mean, probably since Murray, maybe. I don't really know. Since Quinn. I mean, you've just got to trust the process that we'll sign the right players and we'll get rid of the ones that we don't really need, because you don't want too many players where like people are clashing in behind the scenes and stuff like that. So I just feel like just trust the process. That's all I'm saying.
Right, okay, I'll bring you in just now, Terry. You're saying trust the process. People on the chat are now chucking Defanti, his name in there, who was the last director of football we had, which didn't sort of work too well. Terry?
Yeah, everyone's sort of dismissing the fact that KLD might want to have some input into his own side that he's bought. He's been brought under football all his life as a kid, did a degree at university. Maybe he has some sort of interest in which players come in. He might not be as just like a money man that we all think he is. He might actually be quite intelligent, quite have a good idea, an eye for a player. He might do a lot of homework himself. He goes to every single home game. So clearly he has a massive interest in the club. So, he might have more input than we actually think.
All right, fair enough. I'm not fully sort of in agreement on a degree does anything for you, but never mind, different opinions on that.
Wait, look at CONRAD. He's got a degree in editing skills. And then look at me, right? So, I mean, I'm hopeless at editing stuff. CONRAD's fantastic. So if you have a degree, right, it's going to actually go towards things, isn't it?
All right, listen, you don't need a degree. Right?
Yes.
Because I don't have a degree and I do all right with the editing. So there you go.
Yeah, you've got years of experience, so.
Right. Okay.
And you've got a really good laptop as well, haven't you? I mean, I've seen your editing software. It's class.
Right, listen. Jimmy on the chat says, KD needs full control. SD and his sidekick needs to FO. There you go. I quite like that. God, I've lost my train of thought now. I don't know where I was at.
Man of the match yesterday. All
right, go on. We'll do that then. I was going to quickly touch on the COVID passport thing again, but we've run out. Right, man of the match then. Go on, Terry, because you chucked it in there.
Yeah, I thought it was a really good all-round display. I thought most of the players played well, but I give it to Leon Diaco just for his improvement last few games. I thought he did really well yesterday.
Right, okay. Jack, your man of the match yesterday?
Yeah, I would. Well, I'd be different. I was going to say Leon Diaco, but I like to be different. So if not him, I would go Pritchard. I thought Pritchard was everywhere, particularly the first half. He started tired a little bit, 60, 70 minutes, which was a shame. I think, if his fitness isn't up to it to playing regularly, I think we need to manage it as best as we can, because when he's firing like he was in the first half, his passing, his movement, his technical ability, I think is better than League One level. I thought he looked like he could be a championship player. The only thing was that, like you say, he did fade a little bit. So I think it's important to manage his fitness, because I thought, particularly first half, he was brilliant. I would have given it to Diaco, but just to be different, I'll say Pritchard.
Right, okay. You'll quite like this one, Terry. I'll come to you just now, Dino. Thane on the chat says, Cole Stockton from Morecambe is the striker we are missing. Your thoughts on Stockton, Terry?
Right, he's obviously been playing well this season, but that mistake of the day was poor.
Well, he was miles offside, wasn't he, for ages?
He needs to get the Specsavers there, doesn't he?
Well. Dino,
we all make mistakes.
Well, apparently not you. Your name says not.
Exactly why on the mad mistakes. Obviously, it's a big mistake, isn't it?
Dino, man of the match yesterday. Who impressed you most?
Again, I'll do what Jack just done. I mean, I would give it to Leon Diaco, but if I had a second, I would probably say Winchester. I think Winchester really compliments Dan Neil in midfield. He was getting good tackles in. He's very clever on the ball. But yeah, to be fair, the full team could have probably got it for me. Everyone was class. Ross Stewart was closing people down for days. It was just a good team performance for me.
Yeah, Marty, the Irish guy we interviewed yesterday on the fan cams, when I asked him about man of the match, he said the whole team. Thomas Huntley on the chat at the moment says Stockton was crap against us. Different people chucking names in for man of the match there. Pritchard, there, Diaco, Pritchard, Dan Neil, Winchester, all in there. There was quite a few people, had a good game. I'll go to my man of the match right after I've give a shout out to Anthony Perth. We have a massive big thank you and a round of applause. He donated £5 via the super chat. Well done, Anthony Perth. It says money box raided. Is just a little help towards some new Christmas lights for Dino. There you go, Dino. So next time you're going to have your Christmas lights on. Thank you very much, Anthony Perth. It's much appreciated. 4 more people, just hit the thumbs up, guys, to 100, if you would, please. My man of the match yesterday, I thought Diaku was absolutely superb. I thought it was, but like I say, Richard, Dan Neil, there was quite a few in there. DJ Earth, who does our previews, has donated £2 via the super chat as well. Round of applause for DJ Earth as well. Fellas, that just about wraps it up. We haven't got a game on Tuesday, so what we can do is, well, it's my birthday on Tuesday, so well, I was going to get drunk, but maybe I'm not going to get drunk. So, oh, the dog's arrived. Listen, thanks for tuning in. It's been a good one, lads. We will be back on Thursday to have a look at the Ipswich game, which will be on the Saturday. So, Terry, would you like to just say bye to everyone?
Bye.
There you go. Dino, say bye to our viewers.
Goodbye.
And Jack, just say bye.
See you later, lads and lasses.
See you later, lads and lasses. Please don't forget to like and subscribe.
Oh, who's this?
Oh, my word, hang on. What's that? Have we got more animals? Oh, we've got more animals in here.
It's a dog show, this.
Oh, it's Crufts. Yeah, hang on. Yeah, I've got 2 dogs. I've got 2 dogs in my house. Hey. All right, son. Right. Listen, please like and subscribe, and we'll see you back on the channel this coming Thursday. We'll see you then. See you. Bye-bye.
See you later.